Hi sir, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Shivanand. Yeah, I have gone through your resume. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, so thanks for giving me this opportunity. My name is Sivanand. I am from Odisha, but currently staying in Hyderabad for job purpose. And coming to my background, I have completed my graduation in BCom stream from Odisha University. After that, I joined the internship in the Magneq software. So, Magneq software, it is the good experience in internship. I have a lot of gain the knowledge about the DevOps tool. Throughout my career, I gained the strong knowledge in the Linux for operating system. For source code management, I have learned the Git and GitHub. And for CI/CD pipeline, I used to do Jenkins as well as Argo Sheet. Argo Sheet. Okay. With, then coming to my core quality scan, we are using SonarQube. Okay. Then coming to my containerization, we are using. I am using the Docker, and for orchestration tool use Kubernetes, and for cloud service I have both AWS and Azure. I also know the gain knowledge, basic knowledge in Azure, and for monitoring we are using Prometheus and Grafana. That's all my skills.
Okay. So, what are the different Linux operating systems you have used?
Actually, there are two distributions in Linux operating system. One is RPM, another is Debian versions.
Okay. So, which RPM version you have used? Which Debian based?
I'm using RPM Red Hat.
Okay.
In Debian, I'm using Ubuntu.
Okay. So, can you explain different stages in DevOps life cycle?
DevOps like. There are so now I'm going to explain the DevOps lifecycle. Plan, plan for gathering information on the client's requirement, and plan then code we are using for compile the code learn code test for ensure is the application working fine or not, that's using for test purpose. Build or build tool used for the deploy purpose application. Plan code, build, test. Then we are using release, operate, and monitor.
Okay. Where is deploy?
Before you operate, then deploys come.
Okay. What is the difference between DVCS and CVCS?
Uh, DBCS is a distributed version control sequence where we can take the working copy of the code to our local machine. But CVCS we does not take the working copy of the code to our local machine. So in DBCS we are using GitHub, but in CVCS we have the subversions.
So, what is the difference between Git fetch and Git pull?
uh, Git pull is basically used to pull the code, changes code from our remote repository to local system, local repo. But Git fetch without merging, we can see the update.
So, what is the procedure of pushing the changes from local to GitHub?
From local to GitHub. That's first of all, we can use the Git. First, create some file and enter the data inside the file. Then apply for Git to working directory to staging area. Then for staging area to commit history, we can use the git commit hyphen and a message commit message. Then for commit history to remote repository where is git push origin the main.
Okay. So, have you ever faced merge conflict, and how did you resolve it?
Yeah, I have this much.
How did you resolve it?
Uh, first uh, first his status I check update, then it will open the editor VI editor. So I will remove some what we have there like some symbols are there. We removed it. Then git pull, then git mask. That is the git complete mask is result.
So when will you get the merge conflict?
Suppose one single file working from different location like remote repository as well as working in local repository. Otherwise, another also suppose one file working from another branch, same file working from another branch. You employees like dev team and testing teams are also working on same branch. When the mismatch the data on same file, that happens the merge conflict.
Okay. So which build tool you have used?
Uh, I'm using build tool like Maven and Node.js.
Okay. So can you explain the Maven build life cycle?
Okay. So Maven build cycle is first validate, compile, test, compile test, then ambient package, then ambient verify, then install, then ambient deployment.
Okay. So what do you mean by containerization?
uh, it is container is nothing but it is a open source tools like you use a Docker for use of the isolate. It is a isolated and lightweight platform where application runs smoothly and all things available like plugins dependencies are available to run the multiple applications. We are using containerized tool like Docker. Uh,
Okay. So suppose my Docker container is not running. How will you troubleshoot?
Not running. First, I will check Docker service is running or not by the systemctl status Docker status.
Yeah, my Docker service is running actively, but the container, suppose there is an application inside the container, and that application is not running.
So I
So
will use Docker log container.
yeah, you can check the logs.
Yeah,
So can you explain the Kubernetes?
two group working together to running the application, multiple application. First group is work master node control plane, and another is working node. So in master node there are components as is a API, etcd, a scheduler, control manager, and API server. In working node there are kubelet, kubeproxy, pod, and container runtime. Okay.
So what do you mean by taint and tolerations?
Taint is applied for to a node and toleration applied for pods. Some permissions are there. If the pods is eligible that permission, then taint will accept to run.
So what are the different types of services that you are having in Kubernetes?
There are three types of services like cluster IP, load balancer, another is node.
Okay. So when do you use cluster IP? When do you use load balancer and node pool?
For database purpose, we are using cluster IP. Okay.
Okay.
Our load balancer basically used for external but multiple use purpose.
Okay. What about the node pool?
Notepad also use both multiple as well as single, but specifically we are prefer single port only.
Okay. Suppose so which monitoring tool you used?
Prometheus. Yeah.
Okay. So can you explain a few lines about Prometheus?
Uh, Actually, Prometheus used for check all about health of the pods, like, and we can check the all how many CPUs uses by pods, how many memory cells uses. All the dashboard is review the all details of the pods. How many pods are running in replica set also you can see.
So where did you write this? How did you create the dashboards?
In Kubernetes, integrating Kubernetes.
No, where did you create the dashboards? I'm asking.
In Prometheus, sorry, Prometheus only, but that time I can't recall properly.
In Grafana, right?
Grafana.